in this and the next few videos, let's look at one of the most important aspects of database management through Entity Framework. Starting from here. So, if you remember in all these videos, whenever we did any change to our model, adding a property or adding a constraint or removing a constraint, we used to get an error that the model and database are not in sync. Basically, the model has changed. So that is because Entity Framework actually keeps track of all the changes that have been done to the model and whether these have been reflected in the database. So that is done in this migration history. So that is why when we went the code first route, migration history table was created. So this job of this migration history feature in Entity Framework is to make sure that our models, that means basically our entities, are in sync or as the same as our table. Now the moment we add any one property here, and if it is not present there in the database, it will throw an exception. Now this is actually a very good mechanism to prevent the application from running in a bad state. So when the model and the database are not in sync with each other, that is, there is no straight mapping, you should not let the user run the application, because you might be getting in some bad data and the application itself might get into a bad state. So Entity Framework in fact doesn't even let you do any operations once it is decided that the model and the database are not matching. So what we used to do when that happened, we just used to delete the database, and next time we run, all the new properties we added here would have been regenerated, so no issues, it would use to run. But we cannot do this in production, right? We have a lot of data which is already there and we would want to retain them without deleting the database. So how do we go about this? Now, how did we go about this a few years back, like 10-12 years back without Entity Framework, or even now for that matter? So if you are not using Entity Framework even in current projects, what you would have to do is whatever changes you make in the model, you will have to make a note of them and suitably have the SQL scripts ready to make the changes in the production or test database also. Now this is a very cumbersome process. You may or may not remember all the changes you did, and even if you remember, while creating the SQL statements for it, there might be some discrepancies, and when you execute them on the production systems through a SQL Server Management Studio or something, or through scripts, it might look okay, but down the line when something runs, the mapping was not right, and again you will have all kind of issues. And just imagine how this could be done on mobile devices. We've been discussing that, right? Changing the schema by running scripts on mobile databases, or in situations where developers do not have full access on the database, is very difficult. It has to be run through code. So that is the reason, that is one of the biggest strengths of Entity Framework code first approach. I know Entity Framework by itself has a lot of strengths, but opting the code first instead of data first has this prime advantage of maintaining even migrations through code. And what's more, you can in fact let the framework decide all the changes, or rather the framework remember all the changes you've done on the model, and it is the framework's responsibility to create the suitable SQL statements for it and migrate the database also, so that they both are in sync. So what do I mean by that? So let's say I added a few columns in priest, I added a few columns in vehicle, I did some other changes in address. So during any upgradation or any feature improvement we have, we will do several changes to the models. It's not just adding one column. If it is so simple, then well and good. But most often it has a series of changes, and it is difficult for the developer or the team of developers to keep track of all the changes, the order in which they have to be executed on the database. So once you start getting into the projects, you will know when you are not using EF, maintaining the database and the models in sync is always a task on hand, a big task. And apart from that, all said and done, one of the objectives of object relational mapper like Entity Framework or NHibernate is to let the developer focus on his models, let the developer deal with object-oriented programming rather than worrying about the database as if it was a separate application. No, in the code first, I just do all my configurations, changes and activities on the code. That is why code is given first preference. It's not that code comes first, even though it might be. Code first truly means code is given first preference. Everything we try to do through code. So when that happens, you don't have to really remember all the changes that you have done and create a separate script for it and execute it on the database. We are not treating your application separate and the database separate. No, your database is just a part of your application. So this is a big paradigm shift in thinking in code first. Your application is the main thing. Your database is simply there as a support to your models. So let's see how to do that. Let's make a couple of changes in our entities and see what happens. Now we'll try to run the application, we will run into some problems and we'll see how to configure that so that you'll get an idea of what goes into such migrations in real projects as well. So let's just take that up in the next video.